Reality.
UFOs.
Science.
Consciousness.
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
That might not be a real thing. The podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome back to the show. I'm sitting here with a good friend of mine, James, however you want to put it, Jimbo. James is a nurse anesthetist and has been in medical school, training, college, post-grad college for over 10 years. Joined, as always, with my co-hosts, Danny D and Macca. James, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yo.
Happy to be here.
Welcome, James.
Fire away, Danny. What do you got for him?
Oh, okay. What do you do on a day-to-day basis? Like, what does your day look like?
All right. So let me give you a little background as to how I got where I am now. After high school, went to undergrad, college, 4 years, became a nurse. Worked in critical care, did that for 8 years, and then went back to Nurse Anesthesia school for graduate school for 3 additional years of education and training, and now I'm a nurse anesthetist.
How many total years of schooling after college?
After undergrad or after high school?
After undergrad.
So
which is what regular people call college.
College. 3 additional years, and I have a master's degree now. It's being transferred to a doctorate degree, so some are going for closer to 4 years. Yeah.
So 4 years of school, and then you do the residency thing. They don't pay you for that. You show up.
Ours pay you, right?
Ours is a little different than medical school residency. So we do a lot of our training critical care based while we're nurses, and then go back to 3 years of school and training. So our first year is just intense, 5-6 days a week, classroom stuff, 8 hours a day. In the cadaver lab, all that stuff.
Ooh.
And then the last...
Got somebody's attention.
I like that.
Then the last 2 years were in the hospital, 60-ish hours a week, and training in anesthesia. So we do a lot of in-school and hospital training. You don't get paid for any of it for those 3 years. So
yeah, so James and I work out together once a week, and we've been friends for a long time. And he tells me stories all the time about work, and I'm like, when we were talking about getting this podcast on the air, I was like, this is definitely stuff that we need to put out there. So one thing in particular was that struck me as like why your job is kind of surreal compared to, like, let's say, I don't know, working at fucking JCPenney's. I don't know why that was my go-to.
JCPenney, $3.19.
Yeah. So you once told me the average amount of people that die in a week while you're like actively working on them is like 3 people. Is that
yeah? When I was working as an ICU nurse, that was pretty common, a week. Yeah, I worked at a level 1 trauma center, so we did get sicker patients. So yeah, that'd be the average for just my shift. Never mind everyone else's.
I'm talking your personal experience.
Yeah,
how you went. What was your week like? Dan's like, what's your average day like? And I'm like, okay, that's a good question, but we should also cover that, on a weekly basis, 3 people check out in front of you while you're trying to presumably not have them do that. So it's got to take its toll, right?
It does. You learn to, you get kind of, some people never learn to deal with it, and they don't last very long. They get burnt out, and they have to leave the medical field completely. You just kind of you have to find your own ways to deal with it, whether it's talking to your coworkers or something that helps you relieve stress.
Numbing it with drugs and alcohol.
Tell them what you told me when you were in, what was the statistic when you were in school that they told you at the beginning of the program with the drugs and the booze?
Yeah.
And the dropouts and the suicides.
It was after we had already... First week of graduate school, they're like, all right, this is intense training. 40% of graduates come out with some addiction to drugs and or alcohol.
Wow.
20% have suicidal thoughts during training, and there's I think 3% actually commit suicide.
Jesus. I mean, right there are some pretty high numbers to make change.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough.
Well, they address them. They're like, "Hey, welcome to the program. Just so you know, 3% of you aren't going to make it. You're going to die.
Right, yeah.
The rest of 40% of you could come out of here hooked on a substance.
Right.
3% is very, very high. It's less than 1%.
You have to be a little cold. I could see people die, I bet.
I mean,
I think you have to shut it off eventually.
You kind of have to shut it off. You can't be a blubbering mess when you're trying to work on somebody who's actively dying. You have to be able to make decisions and do what you got to do.
Have you ever seen a soul leave the body?
No, but I've actually had a family member of a patient who had just passed away scream at me that we need to open the windows to let the soul escape from their family member's body. And I was like, listen, we're on the 10th floor. The windows don't open in this building.
You see some crazy shit.
That's crazy. Yeah. We all know that souls can go through walls.
Right. Right.
This was not...
Seriously, right?
Really?
They're
Ghosts can
non-corporeal.
go through
They
walls.
don't need a window.
And this guy was not dealing with a full deck at baseline.
Obviously.
And he was also... he was about 6'8", 310 pounds. And I was like, oh, boy. Oh, boy.
It's like Andre the Giant size.
And he was losing his mind because we could not open the windows. And we were like, listen, the soul's going to escape somehow. There's vents. There's all types of systems.
Right, there's holes.
They can just go through the walls. Yeah. But that's just that's typical.
Do you know why someone would have a boner for 4 hours after getting a catheter taken out? It's a really unpleasant experience, but... It just won't go away.
Our listeners want to know.
I want to know.
Dan's had this is personal experience. You had a 4
Personal
hour,
experience.
4 hour
and
erection.
I was just out of anesthesia, so I told them all.
Post-catheter.
I'm like, I have a boner. I was telling the nurse, I have a boner. It won't go away. It doesn't feel too good, but I have a boner.
Yeah, you'll see. Listen, I've had anesthesia a bunch of times in my life, and when you come out of that stuff, you'll say
lots of shit.
That is
so
a
it's kind of
fact.
fucked up. It's funny. Because your job is to administer this anesthesia and make sure that people are getting the correct amount, stay within tolerances, right? Mm-hmm. And then theoretically, I presume you're there when they come out of it too, right?
Most of the time, when I bring them out to recovery, they're still pretty well. They're anesthetized.
You don't see the batshit crazy people when they're coming out of the anesthesia.
Most,
you're missing the funniest
Like
part.
admitting they killed somebody when they were 14 and stuff like that.
Sometimes it also depends on what you use for anesthetic agents, because there are some that will definitely cause you to say wild things, and there are some that don't. So
there is nothing more depraved than a man in the depths of an ether bench.
Sad and depraved.
Sad and
no, but I've definitely heard and seen people say some wild things coming out. Especially the older people will say crazy things.
Well, they got more information in the tank. They get more arrows in the quiver to fire, right?
Or they just completely revert to a childlike state, and they're in their 90s and they're searching for their mother and father, and they're screaming.
That's fucked.
That's pretty interesting.
Has anyone ever just missed you with projectile shit?
Multiple times over the years.
Dude, that was when he first started, they make you do all the horrible... Well, first of all, working in a hospital is kind of a dirty job, right?
Yeah.
It's gross.
Hospitals,
He's cleaned up puke, shit, blood, fucking all the combos of the three. All right, let's get this one out there since Dan wanted to talk about it. We talked about it pre-recording, but fill me in on the details. I'm a little hazy because you told me a story a while back. We're probably working out. I was probably high, but the gist of it is you turned an unconscious woman on her side. There was a newbie work, and you knew he was on the business end because you had a little more experience, so you took the front. Right?
That's where you put the.
He was like, "Hey, you move that side. I'll get this side."
You put the rookies on the other.
This was years ago, back when I was an ICU nurse, and we were turning a patient who had just come in from the field, had a cardiac arrest. Had a breathing tube in, was unconscious, but certain levels of consciousness are
Why
there.
do you got to put them on their side?
You have to turn them to get all of the stuff from the stretcher that was underneath them. Like they cut off their clothes, and their clothes are still underneath them. So
that's how they change beds too, right? They roll them over.
How many people? That's in the emergency room. They cut the clothes because these people are emergency.
Yeah,
right? Scheduled surgery.
This was like
gurney.
Yeah, it's a little different.
Is it called a gurney? What's it called?
We call it gurney or stretcher. Most people call it a stretcher.
No, what's the naked outfit you wear with the ass?
It's called a hospital gown, but New England it's called a Johnny.
A Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny.
Is that mine? One. Yeah, like a little down.
You are one. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Unless you're not, but I think you are.
Okay. I sounded a little down.
Sorry, buddy.
Keep going. It's fine.
All right, so you turn this lady over.
We gotta turn this lady over, and she starts to cough on the breathing tube, which is a normal reaction unless you're super unconscious and sedated. So as she's coughing, I see her belly start rocking back and forth, and I'm like, oh, she sounds like she's gonna. And just as I said it, she had a projectile shit that
diarrhea
flying.
What was the consistency?
It was
like a solid shit that flew out at high speed. Was it like a splatter of diarrhea? What am I working?
It was projectile diarrhea. And right as I went to go tell this guy to move, he saw it coming too, and basically dove out of the way. Did a Matrix style.
Neo.
God.
He was the chosen.
And its thing flew across the room and hit the wall about 5 feet away, and then hit it with such force that it splattered and went up. And
so the whole room's got to be sanitized.
About 6 feet up from that, there was a clock on the wall, and it hit the clock.
My God!
And
wow.
And there was the attending ICU physician saw it all happen, and he just stopped and looked and just said, "Holy shit," and kept walking away.
Exactly. Holy shit.
It's like the episode of Seinfeld when George got the fucking pulp from the orange in his eye, and the guy's like, "What are you talking about? You're way over there. Pulp can't move over there." And she's, "Pulp can move, baby."
Pulp can move. Yeah.
Yeah. There's just shit across the room, up the wall.
Was she naked?
Sean, does that happen to you at work?
She was naked.
It doesn't.
She was not naked. She had a hospital gown on at that point. The hospital gown's open in the back.
The Johnny.
Oh, okay, yeah. I like that when you get the air flowing in the back.
Yeah, you get some good airflow.
Yeah.
What was the purpose of that design? Just easy getting on and
ease
off.
of
People are unconscious.
I think it's making the patient hate their design. Like, why can't you just wear pajamas? Nobody needs access to my ass.
And,
well,
not that you know of.
Well, not
depending
so far.
on your issue, I guess.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, it's just ease of access because you can get it on and off really fast. So.
Oh, there you go.
It's still a crap design, but it
doesn't fit. It's massive. Like,
yeah, one size all, but doesn't fit anybody.
Yeah.
You know.
What do you think about, like, my buddy works in healthcare right now, and you're on the other end of it, right? So, like, these kids are coming out of school and they have like a shit ton of fucking debt, and you got to work, and so like the prices of healthcare keep going up. What, right now the hot issue everyone's talking about, and I know this because I had to take a politics quiz because, as you know, I'm not super hype on. I don't watch the news, and current events are not my forte. Yeah. So my buddy gave me this thing, and he was talking about health insurance being free for people, and then college being free for people, and all sort of stuff. If kids and doctors didn't have to pay off like a $500,000 loan, would that significantly decrease the cost of healthcare, or is it the technology and the equipment that just fucking costs everything?
It's a good question. I feel like there's a lot to unpack there. Certainly the technology stuff that a lot of the equipment that gets used on a daily basis is extremely expensive. Like a robot that's used for surgery. Some of those are the newer ones are upwards of over $3 million. So
what if it becomes self-aware? The robot.
It's controlled by the robot's controlled by a surgeon sitting there, so it can't become self-aware. Not that I know of. But
I don't want to get Dan to pass out and start talking economics. But like a robot's like a fucking asset that lasts a long time, and it's a physical device that like costs money. I'm not an accountant, but you can write that off over depreciation.
You're not a scientist either.
5 years or something. You want to get a throat karate?
I'm just joking.
Do you want a karate chop in the throat? Because that'll definitely put you to sleep.
Well, I mean, certainly if you're coming out of, say, medical school or wherever you're coming out of, if you've got debt from undergrad, debt from medical school, and then 4 years of not working while you're in medical school, so you need money to survive. So you're coming out with $500,000 in debt, and
think about that.
Yeah.
And
this kid's life is
half of them.
Physicians, they spend that first, 10, 15, sometimes 20 years trying to pay all that off because you sacrifice all of your 20s, even your early 30s, and then by that point you're trying to live life, start a family, whatever, buy a house, and you're trying to pay off $500,000 in debt. That's why you see a lot of, say, like surgeons will go into private practice where they work for themselves and they contract through a hospital to do surgery, and they, because if you take a job working for a hospital, you're a staff there, and you're just paid a certain amount of money, and that's it. If you go into private practice, you can theoretically do as much as you want, as many surgeries as you want in different places, so you can make more money that way. If you don't have, what I'm getting at is if you have the argument for single-payer healthcare where everyone has health insurance, reimbursements to physicians, nurse practitioners, nurse anesthetists, they all go down significantly if that's the case.
So you guys make less money.
Make less money. But if they don't have all of that debt to pay off, I don't know if it balances out, but it makes it hurt less, that's for sure.
I know healthcare just goes up every year, period.
Yeah.
So, what's the end? I
don't know.
When does it stop?
Well, just seriously, you can't just keep going up forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, right? It's like something's got to hit.
Let's not complain about being a doctor, too, though. They make a lot of money. They do well.
They do. They do well. I mean, it's...
I've never seen one living in shanties, let's just say that.
I mean, not unless you go and work specifically, taking care of homeless people or underserved populations. But no, they do well, but it's...
No, never mind.
You do Doctors Without Borders.
What do you got? Please share.
I was just going to
Don't
joke and say nobody cares about them.
Well, somebody does.
Somebody does. I'm just kidding.
I'll tell you what I care about, and this isn't a. I don't even know what the facts are in this. So just let me know if I'm right or wrong. But both Prince and Michael Jackson died from anesthesia. They were having anesthesia at night.
Michael
Is that
Jackson.
Milk of the Poppy?
It was Demerol, right?
No, I know Michael Jackson was propofol. I don't know what Prince was. I thought Prince was narcotics.
Yeah. I thought Michael Jackson was Demerol.
Well, that's standard issue rock and roll.
He had a private doctor who just did whatever he wanted to.
Prince was Oxycontin.
Okay, so he's heroin.
So propofol is a drug that I use
Too bad.
almost every single day.
He lasted a long time, though.
They were giving it to him to go to sleep, right?
That is not something you should be
No.
using outside of the hospital, especially...
Well, that's what MJ was doing, I think.
Yeah, what was his doctor? He was a cardiologist or a primary care?
He probably
not a
he
doctor
probably
anymore.
had the money for life support equipment, though, right? Because you would need that, right?
Well, if he did, they didn't use it properly.
No, obviously not.
At the end, he gave too much and never woke up from that beautiful sleep.
Yeah, I mean, I give
Worse
it
ways to check out.
I mean, I give it every single day.
Way worse
and
ways to check out.
You have to know what you're doing. It's not just all right, here's this drug, I'm just going to give it to you and you're going to sleep great. No, if you give too much, you're going to stop breathing.
So
Right.
You've said this before to me. You went to school for it. I'm assuming you're studying the mechanisms as best you can, but for all intents and purposes, you have no idea how anesthesia works. Is that correct?
I mean, we have ideas of how it works, and there are things that we know how it works, but at the end of the day, to know completely how it all works, no, we don't, because if it works in the brain...
We don't really know the conscious mind,
Yes.
right? I mean,
One of the titles of the intro of the show is consciousness. I think you say it, right, Dan?
and that might not be a real thing.
Well, here's the deal, right? You get anesthesia, and it's like the ultimate... You don't have dreams on anesthesia, do you?
You can.
Have you ever had it, Mac?
Once.
What? We don't have to get into it, but you talking,
HIPAA. It's
talking
HIPAA.
lights out anesthesia?
I've been put out a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really...
I don't
really
remember
get
what
dreams.
it was.
Nothing.
It's just like you blink out and you blink right back out.
Right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so that some philosophers think that's what happens when you die, that you blink out,
And you blink
and
back.
it could be a million years go by,
Yeah.
But for you,
born again.
You don't give a shit because for you the lights are out and
I
time
think it
doesn't
would be
exist.
like another Big Bang from now, like trillions of years away, where you're just born again in the same life because everything happens again.
But it's fucked up because anesthesia, when they knock you out with it, is kind of like your body's alive, but you're not conscious. It's like whoever's running the show in there, whoever's whoever's piloting the ship, what do they call that in psychology? The ego or the id? I think you is your ego, right? Yeah. And the id's all the other crap you don't really know about. We'll have to brush up on our psych for the show, but I
have a psych degree.
I think that's actually true.
Yeah, I do.
I have degrees in psychology and paranormal psychology.
I have PhDs in psychology and parapsychology.
Parapsychology. Your methods are sloppy. We're quoting Ghostbusters, Peter Venkman, the hoity-toity scientist.
But the kids love us.
The kids love us. They do love them. So you give people these substances that makes them unconscious for indefinite periods of time because surgeries last, procedures last long time. What's the longest procedure you ever kept anyone under? Because you got to be there the whole time, right?
Well, somebody will be there. Like we get breaks during during cases. So there's somebody else who will come in to give you a break. Somebody else who's well qualified, either another nurse anesthetist, an anesthesiologist. Somebody's always there. It might not be me. So the longest one I ever did was personally 18 hours.
Wow. Yeah. And it kills some people, doesn't
18 hours in the room on the job. You walk out of the room to pee and poop. Check your cell phone.
If you're lucky.
Yeah. Any doctors ever shit their pants during surgery?
I'm sure that's happened.
You see, athletes do it, right?
I've actually seen
marathon runners.
I've actually seen a couple almost do that.
They're diarrhea so bad they have to let it out. But they're like, it's too bad.
Hey man, it doesn't happen to just them. It happens to everybody in the operating room at some point.
It happens to all humans, right?
So people come back from lunch. They had tacos from the cafeteria and.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
Good thing you guys are all. I mean, it's not good, but I mean, as far as smell goes, good thing you guys are wearing 5 fucking masks now.
Oh God, it's.
James has to wear a hazmat suit to work every day.
Yeah.
And he's been vaccinated, so I don't know how long that goes on for.
I don't get that.
Well, so it's like. It's hard because I don't want to wear 2 or 3 masks and all the stuff that I have to wear anymore. But
are you still going to have to after the vaccinations? Like you guys are all supposedly clear now.
So right now, the only time we get super garbed up with everything from head to toe is when we actually have a COVID patient that we're bringing to the operating room, or if I have to go and intubate a COVID patient in the ICU or in the ER.
All right, that's 2. We're not allowed to talk about COVID on the show, so one more, and I got to shut you off.
All right, that's it.
I actually have a question about
Please,
it. So
go. All right,
we don't talk about COVID on here because everybody gets
bombarded,
butt hurt, and we're bombarded. But I just have one question for you, and that is it real?
Yeah, it's real. That's it.
Okay. That's it. It's real, everyone. It's real. Everyone at this table, it's real.
What are you talking about, man?
It's 5G.
It's 5G.
What's 5G? Talking about...
There are conspiracy theories that it's caused by 5G. Or that what people are experiencing is caused by 5G and not actually...
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm stoned. You're saying COVID's a real thing.
COVID is a real
thing. Why people don't believe that it is? They think it's a conspiracy?
Yeah. Hoax.
Like complete hoax?
Yeah.
Complete hoax.
There's a large community on the interwebs.
We're supposed to stay away from this, but I mean, I think if this is a hoax,
this is the greatest hoax ever.
They deserve
it is the greatest hoax.
Whatever they're doing, for whatever reason they're doing it. Kudos to them for pulling it off because they did fucking pulled the wool over the whole planet's eyes at once.
Yeah, they did.
Is that that'd be like David Blaine in like 2 years. He'd be like, it was me, I did
it. You see the David Blaine lookalike guy on YouTube, and he just does these weird eyes like David Blaine. Yes. Those dudes ended up going on to be semi-professional comedians. One of them was on SNL, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I can levitate.
David Blaine looks dead most of the time, so I don't know about that guy.
What do you think?
I think he's a human that can do some amazing things.
You must know the most about.
Oh yeah, I know David Blaine.
Give me the rundown.
David Blaine just does. He's a street magician who does card tricks and coin tricks. It's not his forte though. His forte is doing superhuman things like holding his breath underwater,
The ice
20
cold.
minutes,
Right.
sitting in a block of ice for 5 days, where he starts hallucinating.
So that's like Harry Houdini.
He's like Houdini. Yeah,
Harry Houdini.
He's very much influenced by Houdini.
Okay, so magicians, and I don't know how we transitioned into this, but this is okay. Magicians in general are illusionists, right? But Houdini was on a different level because he also would train himself physically to endure.
Oh yeah,
you got to be able to hold your breath for 5 minutes underwater if you're going to get locked in a sack and thrown in the river. You know what I mean?
There's techniques to holding your breath, like flooding your blood with oxygen. By hyperventilating and doing certain breathing things.
Yeah,
I can hold my breath for
right.
4 minutes doing that. I've tried it.
I don't know about that.
You want to do it on the show sometime?
That might not be a real thing.
It might not be.
I
can
would
do it for.
fracking love to
I
do
can
it.
hold my breath for a long time doing that.
What kind of apparatus?
Maybe
do we
3 minutes.
Stick our heads in buckets and wait for Macca to tell us who came out first. What?
No, you just have to trust me. I'm going to cover my mouth.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying I swim, right, and I can hold my breath for a long time.
But you haven't done the hyperventilation thing. I'm telling you, you load your blood with oxygen.
Why would you deduce that I, a person who spends a lot of time swimming underwater, haven't?
So you sat there going,
yeah,
it's the Wim Hof.
Wim Hof.
Wim Hof.
Of course I've done it. It's preposterous that you think I wouldn't. I can't believe you just said that, but that's all right.
All right.
Of course I've done it, Dan.
So Houdini died. He used to get punched in the gut. He'd take the biggest punch in the gut, but a kid did it while he wasn't looking, wasn't ready for it, so it killed him. He had internal bleeding or something.
Probably that, plus the 500 punches he took to show off that he wasn't impermeable before that, right in the spot. Hey, kick me in the jimmy. You know what I mean?
Wait, Houdini didn't go over the falls and die?
I died from basically what Dan said. He used to get.
So who went over the falls and died? Because I thought it was a thing.
No, it wasn't a Houdini. Chris, can I ask you a question?
Please.
You just said kick me in the jimmy. Why am I getting flashbacks to that?
Because that's from when we were kids, Beavis and Butthead or whatever. There was that coach who was an army. He was the.
Oh, that's what it was.
He was the coach, and he was super masculine, and he was
kick me in the Jimmy.
Kick me in the Jimmy.
Okay, I was having flashbacks for some reason.
Yeah, well, Beavis and Butthead's what, 92, 93?
Yeah, we were kids. We thought it was the greatest thing ever.
Oh yeah, teenager, 13-year-old man. That was great. Anyway, back to the ER stories. What do you? I got the poop one. We talked about the death thing because that's crazy. Sorry about that, everybody.
Can't put that
Just
anywhere.
Lighter down. Someone's gonna have to get it. What were the questions that you wanted to ask, Dan? Because you said you had some stuff that happens at the doctor's office. Because this guy sees it all, basically. I don't want to put you on the spot, so you think about it.
Is there ever a point where somebody has to milk the prostate in a hospital? I'm serious.
Is that a real thing?
Is that a real thing?
Is
there any point where that has to happen? We need to get this guy's juice out.
I'm not familiar with that, but that's not my specialty, so I can't be sure.
What's what do you think's give me top 3 grossest things
the weirdest, grossest
ever
thing.
encountered. Do you need this?
Oh boy.
The shit one's hard to top in my book, but go ahead.
That's got to be top.
Open heart surgery. You're there during open heart surgery. That's got to be. You got to get squeamish during that. If not you personally, but I'm saying
some people do.
Some people would lose it. Your brother, for instance, would pass out at the.
I've seen him pass out from eye drops.
Yeah, my other buddy, the
eye drops.
Yeah, from that test they do,
yeah.
glaucoma or something. Yeah.
Some people are weird with passing out from blood and gore. So my one buddy, the Moon Man, will pass out upon the sight of his own blood, but only his own. Mm-hmm. So he hit his head one time or got blood drawn or something. He sees his blood, he fucking goes out. I believe Danny D's brother will pass out basically upon the sight of any kind of gore whatsoever.
Yeah, he can't handle horror movies, nothing.
And then my other buddy Jeff can't think about the internal mechanisms of the body. He actually almost killed a girl once. This is a true story. We're allowed to talk about this. This is fucking wild shit.
What, where he had that accident?
Yeah. So my buddy, he's at Supa's Pizza, and they're fucking talking about heart attacks and how plaque builds up on the walls of the passageways of cholesterol and stuff. And my buddy Jeff's like, can you guys stop talking about that? It's making me want to puke, whatever. It's making him queasy. He doesn't like it. He wants them to stop. So now these assholes, they're pouring it on thicker, right? So he's at the fucking stoplight. He's fuck you guys, I'm out of here. So he leaves. He's at the stoplight, stops stationary, Happened to be, by happenstance, there was a cop parked behind him, because that ended up being what basically kept him from being in real trouble. But he starts to drive, and probably just that little bit of like G-force lowered his blood pressure enough where he was already feeling queasy, and lights out, man. And so he veers off the side of the road in his truck, and this poor girl was on the side of the road minding her own business, and this truck just comes flying fucking at her. Can you imagine that?
On the grass.
Yeah, off the ride. He hits her, pins her or something to a building. I don't know. He could have killed her, could have paralyzed her. She ended up being all right, thank the Lord Zakobo. But like...
Hail Satan.
Yeah. But
Chris doesn't like that.
Well, I don't have a problem with it, but I know that my mom's going to cry, so I don't want... She's a saint, doesn't deserve it. My poor mother. About 6-7 times a day, I just shake my head to myself and I go, my poor mother. She's a saint. She's a saint. She did not deserve any of this.
Should have been the name of this podcast.
I don't think any. My poor mother. I don't think any of it is real though. So when I say that,
where were you a few months ago when we were brainstorming awesome names?
Just right now.
We might have to switch it.
It might be.
I feel like
my poor mother.
I feel like
Season
saying
2.
that is like saying "Hail Darth Vader." I think it's just another fictional character. That's why I say it. I don't say it because I'm a Satanist.
It's similar, but man, the poor kid ran the girl over. The cop ended up testifying that he saw the whole thing. Kid wasn't speeding, didn't run the light. Toxicology ended up being fine. Wasn't on drugs, wasn't on booze. I mean, he did still. He's still liable, but he was passed out at the wheel when the cop found him. So they were like, dude, I was right on the scene and he was unconscious. So like, I don't know how it all ended up working out, but these people obviously tried to go after his jugular and he ended up being okay. But,
the family did.
The family. Yeah. I mean, they were fucking, they hated it.
It was a medical issue.
Well, I mean, if somebody ran your dog, like Alice over, right?
Yeah.
Do you give a shit what the circumstances were? Or do you just want this guy's fucking scalp?
I want him dead.
Right, exactly. So that's what happened. Parental instinct kicked in, and they didn't give a fuck, and that's what happened. But yeah, I mean, that was the gross blood thing. But what are some of the other gross things? Because that's what we were talking about.
It's one of the grosser things I've seen. Emergency surgery.
Is it people? Just gross people?
There's tons of gross people. People are disgusting.
You've taken a Hippocratic oath to help those people.
Yeah, and I do. We all do.
You're a saint.
Even though some of these people...
and my mom are... If there's a heaven, you two are going to see each other there.
Your mom will.
They'll have one of those, the tubes and pneumatic tubes. You can send a message to hell. Be like, hey, Chris, your mom's all right. We're in heaven. I just checked her out. She's good. Yeah, people are gross.
There's some really, really gross people in the world. But
what's the matter with us?
Freedom to be disgusting. I don't know.
No wonder aliens don't land.
It's definitely.
Right.
We got necrophilia in this planet.
It's definitely.
Fuck the dead.
Don't get Sean going.
Don't get me going on the aliens.
I think
they're all perverts.
His theory on aliens is that they're here basically to exploit us for sexual purposes, like the whole island's like a pleasure pick island. Just pick the one you want, beam it on board, have your way with it, put it back down, wipe its memory, see you later. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Or sir. I wouldn't be surprised.
Doesn't matter the gender. Doesn't matter. They just pick. They'll do it to animals. Animals can't tell their story, So.
Imagine if our porn is like their Shakespeare. Like, they love it.
Like, their whole society is based on open sexual conduct.
Like, Jenna Jameson's, like, the most important person in their world. Like,
okay,
Jenna Jameson.
throwback.
That's throwback.
Well, I don't know any recent porn stars. Savannah Sampson is another one.
I don't even know who that is.
I just started...
look her up.
I just started... Hey, no, seriously, I want to ask you this because you're into this shit. I'm talking to Danny D. I started watching Farscape, which is a sci-fi show.
Yeah.
Do you know of it?
Sci-Fi Channel. I think.
But Jim Henson's son produced and made the show because Jim Henson's been dead for a while.
Yeah, he's
right?
been dead for a while.
So but his company is still
Oh yeah, they still do
called
like
Jim Henson Puppeteering or whatever.
Yeah, they're loosely affiliated with Lucasfilm, like Industrial Light and Magic, Star Wars, like because like Frank Oz.
Yeah, they're legit. But I started watching
Yeah.
Farscape, and they have Henson Muppets and shit in it. Did he do the Muppets?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Muppets and Sesame Street.
Okay.
So like they're kind of loosely affiliated. Like they go back and forth.
This show has this love priestess on there, and she like their whole society is essentially based on sex and stuff like that, and reaching like the sexual like enlightenment basically. And she can like give you a hug and touch her cheek to your cheek and like give you like a full body orgasm. Just yeah, exactly. So I watched the show and I was like, well, this is an interesting show. I'll keep watching it. So it's sci-fi. It's had 5 seasons. So I was like, what the fuck? It's got 5 seasons. So I don't know.
That means it got re-upped.
Yeah, people paid up. They were like,
that 2-year contract and you get re-upped.
Let's see that.
Do you remember when we were kids? We'd rent movies just because they said nudity on it, and we'd like fast forward through to find those scenes.
Yeah,
like we didn't care about story. Like it was like somebody told us this movie has like a scene where she dances around with her titties out.
Meanwhile, you're at work praying not to see half these people nude, and you have to.
You see a lot of stuff you don't want to see. A lot of old ladies have some, not a lot, but I've seen my fair share of old ladies with really risque tattoos.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
What are we
60s,
talking?
man.
60, 70, 80?
Yeah.
They got like a little arrow in the back of their like tramp stamp. That says, like,
Some of them have like the arrow is a
or a
pretty
bullseye.
common arrow.
Yeah, but tattoos back in the day were wicked taboo. These chicks must have been like sluts. They would have
were
had sex
taboo.
with like at least 6 guys during the 50s, which would be like 500 today,
They were
right?
taboo. Chris, they were taboo when you first got your first tattoos.
Basically,
Like,
they
late
were
90s.
illegal in Mass.
Now everybody has them.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me
Almost everybody.
you see a lot of naughty old lady tattoos.
Yeah. One of them was a retired.
You've never told me this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just had never come up.
Special
Sometimes
treat.
you see the heart with the arrow through it on a butt cheek or on a boob or.
You ever see one like the one I got down near my dinky?
Never seen that one, but I've seen ones that say like
That's a
I
fucking
forgot about that tattoo.
that's a one of a kind.
Yeah.
People love that one.
That's a porn star one.
Is it weird that old ladies in the risque tattoos
poor
are being
mother.
chubby?
I mean, hey,
that a little
teach
weird?
their own. Yeah, that's a little weird, Dan. But
I'm just kidding.
I've seen ones right above the vajay. They say like
Nice.
one. It said it's. I can't remember what it said, but it said something to the effect of, what the hell was it? Some like whoever she was married to, and then it said toy box after it. Like,
You're saying this person's
John Smith's toy box.
right above her vagina?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's commitment.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Well, you got to think now, like 70s and 80s is like the 60s. You were either 30 or teenage. Like, you're in that age where you could have been living an alternative life that we don't know.
Everybody's
It's
young
not the
once.
50s,
That's
like-
the fucking thing people forget when they look
The
at old
50s,
people.
the people that are like
Yeah, they were
80
young
or
ones
90
too.
now,
Say-
they're
say-
not getting tattoos.
So, say you were born in 1950. 69 was
Troubles just hilarious.
what the hell is 69? The
68, summer
Woodstock.
Love?
Woodstock.
Woodstock
So
was 69.
all those people now are 71 years old. So you
And they had a blast.
They were
Yeah.
tripping their
Yeah,
balls
they were
off on
tripping.
LSD.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
The
Jimi
anti-war
Hendrix,
I've had
peace movement.
I've had
he's-
patients recently that's, we ask everyone if they do recreational drugs, and this guy's like 73, 4, 5, and he was like, not anymore. He's like, but in the late 60s and 70s, I was like, I did a lot of acid. I was like, oh.
Should have been like, what's a lot?
Oh.
Could you elaborate? What were your experiences like? How
Tell
did
me
you
more.
enjoy it? Did you enjoy it?
Give me a trip report.
There's a lot of that on the internet now. You
Yeah.
know, people taking hallucinogens and just straight up filming what's going on while they're under and putting clips of it up on the internet. And people,
TikTok, baby.
is that where it's at?
TikTok's a new thing. It's I don't know if it's new, but it's new to me.
Mac is here to keep us like semi in touch with the present day culture,
Pop
pop
culture,
culture.
pop
Is that what they
culture.
call it? Because Dan and I are roughly stuck in the 70s and 80s. Maybe push
I
it.
want to rock.
Rock. I want to rock. Yeah. So
You're up to date on things that are happening now that I'm not connected to at all.
like
Like
what?
gaming
Yeah.
and
I'm not in that.
any sort of sci-fi. That's where a Dan D would come in, I guess.
Yeah.
Or
Dan's a-
oddities, right?
Dan's a sculptor.
Yeah.
What would you call aliens?
I like
paranormal psychology.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like paranormal psychology. I mean, like what I do for a living, I know how to make stuff. Like that's what I know how to do, and it's all old school techniques. It's really not anything like new. Like they talk about 3D printing, and I'm like, what? How does that work?
Oh,
it's gonna replace me someday.
We were asking that last week, and you weren't here. But this cat has the Tony Stark chest heart defibrillator / pacekeeper thing inside of him, right? Yeah. And recently, which I thought that this thing was going to keep going the wrong way, but recently his disease is going back to healthy tissue, right?
And like the life expectancy when I first got the disease, you look it up, it's 2 to 7 years.
Oh my God, I would be robbing banks.
That's like holy shit.
I would be robbing.
Well, because sarcoidosis is weird. You can get it on your skin, which is like nothing, or you can get it in your heart or lungs, which is bad. Making
large deposits in my children's names in their bank accounts.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm pretty optimistic about things, though.
So now his heart's working on its own, though, without the thing.
It's still, pacemaker's still running now, but like my heart's like gotten strong enough. Like I'm just an animal.
You look like a new person.
Yeah, I'm an animal.
You look vital again.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel great.
Your vitality.
Feeling old for a little while.
So the question was, how close are we? Where are we, James? What's the technology? What's the state of the state on artificial organ technology as it pertains to hearts? Are we still working towards a mechanical device?
Well, I mean,
or are we at like cloning and 3D printing?
I mean, there's a mechanical heart. I'm not familiar with how often it's used. We have bridges. We have machines now that can bridge you to a transplant, make you live longer with your crappy heart until you get a transplant.
Is that what Dan has?
Well, they have the transplant they do now. They're really good at like putting it in too. I mean, the success rate is pretty high, and the drugs are getting better, like the anti-rejection drugs.
Yeah.
But Chris is talking about an actual heart transplant that's an artificial heart.
I'm not familiar with it. It's not in my wheelhouse, so to speak.
Like a synthetic product.
I know that there are laboratories working on those things, but I don't know.
Are you not allowed in the cardiosurgery lunch area, or do they have they go out to lunch?
No, we work on actual human hearts that are still inside people. We fix those. But in terms of artificial hearts, like you're talking a real heart.
It just seems to me like it's unacceptable that it's 2020. I grew up watching television shows with people that had these devices inside of them, and I get that it's like, you can make something on TV. That doesn't mean it's going to happen in real life. But this didn't seem like outlandish to me that we would make an artificial pump that went in somebody's body.
I think we will eventually.
I mean,
100% will.
His body is connected to his device, and it's reading and transmitting the electricity.
I'm a cyborg.
Yeah, technically. For sure, more of a cyborg.
I was thinking about getting some robot legs, but it's a risky procedure.
It is. I would love a robot leg.
I would.
One of the so if you say an artificial heart, like that's like a machine. One of the things it's not part of the human body. You got to worry about the body attacking it, and it's not normal tissue, so you'd have to be on blood thinners.
Yeah, so that's why I was asking about 3D printing and cloning, because that's been like on 60 Minutes like a decade ago. Like, look, we're cloning and 3D printing this heart.
Well, things happen slowly, that's all.
Yeah, I just want to know if there's anything new going on. All right.
There must be something new going on, because look, all technological advances come in 3 waves, right?
No, I don't know anything about this.
One is keeping us on Earth, right? So healthcare, things like that. 2
keeping
is
people alive,
removing us from Earth. Military, guns, things like that. And then 3.
Whoa.
Oh, this is deep.
3.
Whoa, I didn't know we were getting this.
3 is that pornography.
What?
So
those are the 3 stages of life?
No. Keeping us, the technological advances come in what I say 3 categories.
You're saying pornography is a technological driver.
Yeah.
And that war and medicine are technological drivers.
Sure. I'm saying keeping us on Earth and removing.
I heard the 3D goggles.
If you boil it down,
we are
its
3D
essence.
printing guns.
I heard that virtual reality is big now because porn has moved it forward.
Absolutely,
like, people want
100%.
virtual reality for porn. I kind of think that's cool.
POV.
POV. It started in
You're a sick puppy.
pornography.
Some of that wop.
You can like
Sicko.
get a
Wet
fake
ass
vagina that is connected
Make
to
that
a
pull-up game
girl
weak.
in London
And she's in charge of the movement.
and she's entering something in her vagina, and it's connected to the thing, and
wirelessly
it's
transmitting
you are
electrodes.
feeling it, so it makes it seem like you're.
And you know what? I know all the materials, the silicones and stuff that they use for casting, like
You're
realistic,
talking about,
like skin parts.
You're talking about international virtual sex.
Yes,
Yeah. I'm glad that we live in a world where that's a thing.
that's what I'm saying. Keeping us on Earth, removing us from Earth, and fucking in any way we can, or maybe the end result of.
You ever seen a real doll? The guy who made real dolls,
Shockingly, no.
he was a special effects artist, and he made millions on the real doll.
Shockingly,
It's so popular that there's a waiting list for like 3 years to get a real doll. They're made out of silicone. You can customize it, little outfits, and like
I think you and
make
I-
boobies bigger and smaller.
I think what you're telling me is that there's a place in the market for a second competitor to show up. Somebody who knows a little something about silicone.
Well, yeah, that's what that guy started as. He was a special effects
sounds like
artist.
we got a little
Well-
project we put together,
Well,
Dad.
I always thought that someday, like, it would lead to me making sex toys, like realistic dicks. And,
Yeah, we were supposed to do that.
yeah, like, I mean, it's only a matter of time before I make it, like, the best Dirk Diggler penis, like, with punched hair and, like, veins.
I want it
and,
to
like,
be mine, though.
That might get
That would be
weird.
like a legacy to leave behind. I could die and be like,
yeah, you'd be like, this is
women
it.
all over
Here
the
you
world
go.
pleasuring themselves with the copy of what I had
Yeah.
down below.
We know a lady that tried
I think
to hire
that's a
us.
nice thing. It's pleasurable.
A lady tried to hire our company. She collects celebrity dicks, and she was going to get us to cast some of them.
What?
She had like Jimi Hendrix something. We never got to get the job, but it was like
What do you mean
crazy.
she collects their dicks?
I don't know.
After they're dead?
I think celebrities got their dicks cast while they were alive, secretly.
So she gets a copy.
Copy of it, yeah. It's called
still-
it's called life casting.
It's just as good as
Once again.
Yeah, like
go
you
back to that.
alginate.
Wow.
Technological advances come in 3 places.
I can't believe that's a real thing.
Dan, how would you make a dick mold? Plaster?
No, you'd use some people who put plastic
Now
in
you're
people's
asking
bodies.
questions.
It's bad. You got to use medical grade like alginate, which is like an algae based like temporary substance. It's like rubbery, kind of moist. And then there's things like certain body safe silicones you can use.
No, I mean like you actually make the mold. You actually
Oh, when you cast it?
Yeah.
So no, if you clamp,
Okay,
if
so
you're
you-
clamping
yeah, it's a
something
lot
on
of
somebody's
process.
erect
You got to get
penis.
an impression of it, then you got to cast it in plaster, then make a silicone mold of that, and then cast it in a different silicone. It's a big.
a lot of work.
Yeah.
I haven't done this, but just off the top of my head, I would say you probably have to pump the stud dick full of Viagra.
Oh, that's different. Yeah,
Then
you definitely have to do
Get
that.
it so erect that it couldn't possibly go down, and then use some sort of double molding type.
You only have to do it for 7 minutes because the alginate will set in like 7 minutes. So you
You can
just gotta-
keep a penis erect for
Oh, yeah.
7 minutes. I've
Yeah.
done it.
It's cold. It's cold. You slept with literally over 3 bitches.
No, I've done it. 7 minutes is done.
never 8 minutes.
Well, it's harder and harder.
I
It
think
increases.
it's definitely possible.
Jimmy, it increases exponentially as you go longer and longer. You can't. It's like the speed of light. All right, now I have another question. What? And this is a good one. What is the longest time? Like we talked about the longest time you were in the room working on a patient, but like, what's the longest time somebody was like lights out dead, and then you guys brought them back?
I want to hear that too.
Oh, I got someone's
Good
attention.
one.
I'm awake.
Yeah.
Man, it's a tough one. I don't really know the longest time because
Ballpark it. Like there must have been a time where you're like, "Fuck, man, I think this person's gonna die," but then they're like, "I'm back." Smelling
think.
salts.
I have to say, so let's like maybe 8 to 10 minutes.
Jesus,
Wow.
Jesus of Nazareth.
I've only been dead 15 seconds.
of the Latter-day Saints.
Well, that's all right. Let me spell 8 to 10 minutes, and they actually survived. There have been times where I remember working on people for over an hour.
Yeah, they're working on them though, right? They're not just letting them sit there.
No, we've been working on them for an hour, and yet intermittently in that hour, they would regain their
Code out a
heartbeat.
couple
They're in and
times.
out.
In and out, and then it would stop, and you start working them again. You go on for an hour and a half sometimes.
Just keep. Wow, really? I thought it was either just alive or dead.
I would say the longest is an hour, an hour and a half. That's just long. That's like doing other things in that time period.
You're still pumping their blood and giving them oxygen. It's just they're not coming back on their own, right?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times, I think I can't remember the statistics off the top of my head, but I think out of hospital cardiac arrests, even with CPR, the survival is less than 1%. I think. So
come a little bit closer.
So
you sound great, but
having cardiac arrest, we just went to somebody in our high school. Chris.
What's cardiac arrest? A heart attack?
Heart just
stops beating.
Yeah. That's wicked common. I mean, it happens to people.
Yeah, it happens in Texas. That's why they made Xenadrine illegal.
I love Xenadrine.
I liked it too.
Oh, what was that?
Ephedrine.
Oh,
yeah.
That stuff was the best.
I use ephedrine at work.
I was at like 18, 19.
We still have it?
Well, we use...
They got to keep them pumped up a stim so they can focus.
We dose it appropriately and,
as required.
As required.
Thank you. It's very loose.
One time your brother gave me stackers, Chris, these bumblebee things.
Oh, man.
And he goes, take 3. They were like 4 times the strength of a regular...
Black beauties.
Yeah, give me like 4.
right.
He thought it was funny. I could have died.
Yeah, you could have died.
Easily. My heart was like, I can't.
Those were insane.
Yeah. Mike's like, just take 4 then. They're not that strong.
Well, he was also
what a sicko.
A big boy. But the thing is that these kids in fucking Texas had triple session football, and they were out sweating in the heat of Texas heat. Who knows what that's like? People from Texas do. I don't. But I'm sure it's
10 degrees, baby.
Yeah, it's a dry heat, but it's still fucking hot, right? And you're out there running around triple sessions, dehydrated, and your heart's cranking. And big surprise, a couple of young kids died and had heart attacks. Now the rest of us got no Xenadrine. A couple bad apples ruined it for the whole bunch. And it's really the coach's fault, really.
100%.
Why didn't they give them double sessions or even just one practice a day? How about that?
Some of that's Xenadrine, some of it's been linked to condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. So
Hey now.
Yeah.
Was cardiomyopathy swollen heart?
Yeah, it's an enlarged heart.
Okay, that's why I had that.
And the heart muscle, the way the heart pumps, if you get too dehydrated, the ventricle can collapse on itself when the heart tries to pump, and then you got no blood pushing forward, so then you stop.
Right.
It's amazing the human body even works, or any biology for that matter.
It's pretty freaky.
Like amoebas and single-celled organisms, amazing, great.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, But the more complex things get, and you get mammals, even reptiles, fish, birds, all the other life forms, but it's fucking nuts. They have bodies at work. I got a microscope for my my goddaughter, and it had all these slides in it, and there are all these different things that from animals and insects, and you look at them under a microscope, it's fucking insane.
How detailed everything is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's insanity.
It's amazing to look at things on a cellular level.
In the scheme of we see things as big, in scale in reference to things, but in the universe, we're basically just like a pebble of sand. Not even. We're an atom compared to the size of the universe. So we're basically ants. I mean, we see ants and we're wow, they're tiny, but we're tiny. We are tiny.
I think if it's infinite in a universe, then size can also be infinite. So you can have infinity small and infinity big.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know of any rule that just precludes
it. Hurts my brain.
Too much science coming at you? Is that real science? I said infinity. I don't know. I heard it. I said it twice. Infinity. What are you going to do? I don't know. So, I don't know, James. I've heard some good stuff tonight. I don't know if my co-hosts have other questions for you. Other than that, we can just wrap it up. Just rap, about stuff if you want to talk. But, what's going on right now, dude? You're in your head, right? You're going to work every day and you're giving the best information you can on what's going on with the whole current pandemic or whatever.
We can talk about it with Jim, I think.
Yeah, we're allowed to talk about it with him because he works dead balls in the middle. He's a frontliner, right?
I want to know what it looks like.
Yeah.
Because I only see the news and
what
stuff.
does it look like?
Like, what does it look
Are the hospital beds chock full? Are they half empty? We're hearing mixed stories. Like, some people are saying all the hospital beds are half empty and that these hospitals need to keep these things full to make money. And so, like, guys are coming in with, they jam their toe and then they're like, oh, this is a COVID patient. We swabbed him. Boom, it's COVID.
When I was at Tufts in April for like 2 weeks, I asked them, like, oh, so where's they gave me a COVID test. I'm like, so where's all the COVID patients hiding out? And she's like, I don't think we have any right now. I'm like, what?
So how many people were there? It seemed like a
She said there
vacant
were
hospital.
none.
In April?
It's Tufts. Yeah, it's Tufts. Maybe they were at a different hospital, but she said I don't think we even have any. I was in the ER.
They're making it sound like
At the time.
Okay, so you were talking about this earlier, saying that people think it's a scam, right?
Yes.
So
Scamdemic is what I've seen.
yeah,
Yeah, people are dumb too, though.
I have used the term scamdemic. Okay.
You got caught up in it.
No. I don't think that the virus is fake. I don't think that, but I think that the powers that be, and there are multiple powers that be with different agendas, they're taking advantage of the situation and pushing forward their programs and their agendas to, like, a perfect example is paper money. Okay. Paper money's fucking gross. It's covered in germs. I pass it around. Who the hell knows who's had it?
Snort shit with it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God. People.
Been in somebody's
I didn't
butthole.
know that didn't even
could've
come
been
to mind. But yeah, people use it. They put it up their nose to snort. Usually, I think they're using singles for those, and I usually carry 20s. But whatever.
You use whatever you pull out of your pocket.
I'm just saying.
Personal experience.
I'm just saying.
You take a piece of paper, whatever you pull out of your pocket.
Hey, I don't know. But what I do know is that money is covered in germs, and now. But I like cash.
I do too.
Because it tells no tales and leaves no trails. Okay? That's a cool phrase to say about cash sometime if anyone wants to use that.
It's open.
It tells no tales and leaves no trails, baby. Sometimes gets you some tail, though. That's supposed to be a drum roll.
To add that in after.
But anyway, people want now to make all money. Well, some people are pushing an agenda forward to make money electronic.
No, I hate that.
And they're saying, well, it's dirty, bro. It's covered in germs, and it's time. And they do have some valid points, because money is kind of like basically all electronic right now anyway. Like, a bulk of the money in the world is just numbers in a computer.
It's not even like paper.
Yeah, it's not backed up by real gold. It's not backed up by shit. It's just it's a ledger book that we all agree counts as worth, right? Mm-hmm. And it's true. That's what's fucked up about the economy, is that when the economy tanks, right? Okay, I want to have this is on my list, gents, just so you know. But I want to have an entire podcast an episode dedicated to crazy shit humans have run the world economy on. Okay? And there's been a couple of them, right?
Require some research.
Well, there's been different things, right? So, like, furs, for example. Spices, like pepper. Salt.
Back in the day, like fabrics.
Yeah, and ultimately it was ultimately really barter system for like different 20 items, right? Like, there was like, you had some foods, you had some weapons, you had some textiles like silks, right? Usable shit.
Well, gold.
And then there was gold.
But you didn't have a paper representation of that. You just had gold.
Then, Native Americans have used wampum, supposedly. That's what they teach in the history books. I wasn't there. They wiped those poor people out, took their land. What can you do? Only the strong survive. There was like a 100-year period where we ran the global economy on whale oil, right?
It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, that's a real thing. Like, the whole human planet of Earth, the economy was literally run on whale oil and the futures of whale oils. The fucking Amsterdam people, I don't know if you know about this, but there was like... And Amsterdam is they're a pretty educated country as far as like places go. And I'm talking, for hundreds of years, that's been a cultural and educational hub, right? There was a certain period, like 200 or 300 years ago. I think it was just like the 1800s or something. I don't know how long ago it was, but like for some reason, tulips were discovered and became fashionable in Amsterdam. You can look this up if somebody doesn't believe me. We can. I'll look it up for the podcast.
Oh yeah, it's a tulip bubble.
But there was a tulip like rush in Amsterdam where everyone wanted to grow and buy and have tulips in their houses.
And they sold for a ton.
And they sold for a ton of money. And so everyone was dumping all their money into like the tulip industry. Yeah.
But then the bubble burst.
But then it burst, and like the Amsterdam
Had tulips everywhere,
Yes,
and nobody wanted
yes,
them.
no one
And
wanted
they
them.
weren't worth shit.
They were valueless. Like they were beautiful. They were tulips, but they just. Are you looking this up, Macca? Yeah. You don't think this is a real thing?
No, it's a real thing.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm just looking it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have a show about it because I do want to talk about it. But we were, Amsterdam tanked in the economy for tulips, right? So the economy is like this thing that like, it's like, it's fictional, but it runs we run our entire society based on it, right? And so like when the futures markets crash and shit like that, those are like, as I understand it, they're like gambling on what the price of orange juice is going to be in a week or a month or in a year. And people start trading these because they're like, it's called speculation, right?
Yeah.
And that's like a huge portion of how we run the economy. That's fucking crazy. I don't know how we should run it. Maybe electronic money does make sense. I don't know.
Lots of cocaine.
Well, yeah, no, that's
how it's run anyway.
the world does run, I think, on
So,
cocaine.
what's it like with COVID in the hospitals?
It's completely different. It's very different.
Different from what it was before, you mean?
Yeah, so
Oh.
just coming from my line of work, in between each case you do throughout the day, say you're in an operating room that's running, you have 4 surgeries. In between each surgery, you take your mask off, you get a new mask,
swapsies.
Yep, take your mask off, get a new mask. Each case, you get a new mask. Makes sense. Since COVID, like, you keep the same mask on all day. You don't take it off. Only take it off to eat, lunch. That's it. And underneath that mask, I'm wearing a respirator mask underneath that. And then,
It doesn't matter that you're vaccinated?
that's,
It's a new thing.
It's got to be taken into consideration.
just finished round.
This
Yeah.
can't be forever.
I just got the second dose about a week and a half ago.
So you're building antibodies every day.
There's probably a timeline.
At this point, I should be up to their 95%-ish.
Yeah. Can I just say something about people who question things like COVID and stuff? Now, Arnold Schwarzenegger said it recently on Instagram or Twitter or something. He said, listen, we need to, if you want to ask about bodybuilding and diet, ask me. He said, I'm an expert. If you want to ask about viruses, you ask the virologist. You don't ask some idiot you know on Facebook who barely got out of high school.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes we just gotta like my device. I feel like sometimes I'm a smart guy, but really I'm a monkey compared to these guys that invent cell phones and my defibrillator. And just those kind of people, like I'm a freaking monkey slapping on the table.
He's hitting on an important topic, dude.
So-
Like no one has any idea how anything in their life works.
No, if the grid went down, they would not
does
know
the
how to do
telephone work?
anything.
Yeah.
And
How
if
does
you
this microphone work?
if you didn't
Yeah.
have YouTube to show you, you'd be fucked.
Yeah, and so what I'm saying is, like, you trust, like, okay, somebody will be like, oh, I have a doctor that said that global warming isn't real. Well, okay, so you could go see 12 doctors, and 11 of them say you have cancer, and
For
one
sure.
says you don't. That guy who says you don't is a quack.
Right.
So there are quack doctors, too, and there are quack scientists, but if the majority say there's something, just trust them. They're smarter than you. You're a fucking monkey.
Yeah, well, I mean, I haven't followed the news, but maybe you can, Macca, maybe you can tell me what's going on, but this Anthony Fauci guy seems to not be getting a lot. He's not a popular guy.
There's politics with that,
and
but
I feel like
Right.
he's
It
just
depends
up
who you're
there.
around, though. I mean, to
No, I
me,
feel like
the sweet old guy.
I feel like on TV they make him look like every time I turn around, they're like someone's tearing him down, you know?
that's the news.
Yeah, what channel are you watching?
Well, none, but like the glimpses I catch, it's always like Fauci sucks. He doesn't know what he's
That's-
doing. And I'm like, this guy's like a nice guy. He probably knows a lot about viruses. And
More than we will ever collectively know.
yeah.
We know
depending
more about
on-
viruses.
Depending on what you believe,
Yeah.
he may have not have been able to talk about things.
During
No,
the
there's
last
politics.
They're
election.
saying
Yeah.
they silenced them,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's politics.
censored them.
Yeah.
Why?
course.
Because they thought there'd be panic.
Because his way that he would have managed it is not the way that the prior administration wanted to manage it.
In what regard?
He,
Did he want like stricter rules or?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it was brutal for them to enforce the rules they already put on us. I don't know how we expected to
I don't think
pull it
they
off.
really enforced any rules. Nobody was holding us in our homes hostage.
They did in Georgia.
Georgia, there was no rules.
Did you see that? Listen, there was a video a while back, and again, this is a video on the internet, so whatever. But
That means it's real.
there was a bunch of them. But there was some fucking like police in I want to say it was in Atlanta, Hotlanta, and they were telling some lady like that she had to physically stay inside her home, and she was like on her porch, and they like opened fire on her with like pepper ball.
Oh no,
bullets.
that's a video I sent you. That was in.
All right then.
That was in Minneapolis.
Okay.
That was during the George Floyd protest. That was Minneapolis put in a lockdown order, and people were on their porch, and the cops were rolling down the street and told people to go inside, and they're like, "Well, we're on our porch," and they
Fuck
shot.
you, this is America.
They shot them. They
Can you
shot them with
imagine? Can you imagine?
paintballs.
No,
and
I
pepper
can't. This
spray.
is fucking America.
Like you have a porch in your front
You can
house.
suggest shit to me.
So again, like you can see, like you mix that up, and if someone,
I mixed the state up. I didn't mix up the incident.
well, yeah, but you mixed up the reason. And if somebody takes that
That's so
footage,
easy.
Right.
puts a different title, and says these people tried to leave their house because of during COVID lockdown and they got shot at,
Or that kid who was wearing who they thought he was making fun of a Native American. They thought it was a MAGA kid, and it ended up being some kid who took a photo with him. It wasn't even a big deal.
Right.
It was just totally taken out of context. Now, Jimmy, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you think? Do you think by this late summer, let's say like August 21st, Guns N' Roses at Fenway Park, we're going to be able to go to concerts like that then?
I would certainly hope so, but I don't know. I mean, let's
Got
see.
fucked out of it.
already
last
got
summer.
postponed. Just
Doesn't seem
let us
like it.
live our lives. I'm going to be vaccinated.
You've got 330 million people in the U.S. How many of those are children under the age of 16, which the vaccine's not even approved for? I don't know the numbers.
Well,
of
it
that.
doesn't affect them though. Just let's get on. Well, the flu used to spread too. Nobody said shit about that.
I mean, there were during the 1918 flu pandemic.
Yeah.
There was big protests about wearing masks and social
Oh,
distancing.
really?
Yeah,
same situation we're in now.
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah, I heard that. The Spanish
They lost way more people because they, let's face it, it's 1918. They
They
don't
lost
have
people anyways.
Shittier microscopes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 kids died before
What
they
it
were
boiled
2.
down to.
Right.
So yeah, in 1918, it affected a lot of kids because they didn't have any type of immunity to that, and a lot of the old people had seen a similar strain of flu during their younger years. So old people weren't as affected by the 1918 flu as the children
This
were.
is totally opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the rest of it's a lot like it.
similar. So yeah, similar. They didn't want to wear masks. They didn't want to wear social distance back in 1918. So there were similar protests and anti-maskers and the whole gamut.
But
I like those old photos with those old.
a much higher mortality rate.
Yeah, with Spanish influenza, yeah. I mean, that could be just because we didn't have any. There's 1918. Medical knowledge was not what it was then that it is now. Mm-hmm. Treatment
It was
options.
100 years ago.
Yeah,
It sounds like the Dark Ages.
it does.
It's not that long ago.
No,
Imagine if
my grandfather was born in 1920, so just 2 years after that.
Mine too.
Imagine if you brought back some of the music today.
They didn't
from
have the
1918,
incubator.
Like Cardi B, like Wet Ass Pussy, and you played it.
Imagine.
They might not understand the. They might not know. I mean, I'm sure they'd pick it up pretty quick, but they might not know the slang.
Maybe not.
Pussy might not have.
Yeah,
been a
you
word.
fucking with some wet ass pussy.
You always go to that WAP song. You're fascinated.
WAP,
you think
WAP.
you think that's a you think
I love it.
You think that song's powerfully attached to like pop culture.
I
right
think
now.
it is, and it's there's something like feminist about it too. They say.
So we had a English teacher in high school, and my kid's going to that high school this year, and I saw him, and I remember something that he used to say, and I quoted it to him, and he thought it was like the fucking coolest thing ever because I haven't seen this fucking guy in forever. But he used to say in history that literature is a representation of the life and times in which it is written. That was a direct quote. Mr. Grell, kiss it.
He's a dean now.
Yeah, right. And that's like music, okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, people write music, and it's basically like what's going on in the world that they're living in, you know what I mean? Because that's their reality. And, I don't know.
Lately, that song's been our anthem when we drop off the kids for babysitting overnight. Like, that's what we play the second we get in the car.
It gets you guys pumped
It's just,
up and ready
it's
to
just
go.
our song.
What do you even-
Because you can't play with the kids in the car. It's just Cardi B WAP.
Oh,
You know Quinn's listening to that shit. He's like old enough to download whatever he wants.
We gotta
he's
be
10,
careful.
right?
He has a girlfriend on.
He's 10, right?
On Fortnite.
Is he 10?
He's not gonna be 10 soon in March.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's when you start finding.
Start looking at
You
Playboys.
start finding your pee-pee.
Yeah, right.
I used to hide my Playboys in my brother's room so that
Was it behind his carpet in the closet? Yes, I remember.
so if my mom found them, he'd get in trouble.
Oh,
Yeah.
genius.
It is. It is.
You've been gypsy switching.
Since the
He
fucking
got the Pamela Anderson
coming out of the womb, gypsy switch, baby. I might not even be my parents' kid. I might be some poor people's kid.
I don't know. You look
and
like
I
your dad.
fucking
though.
army crawled into the other, tossed the other kid over, and took the new family. It was like, I'm taking this family, bitches. I'm out. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but it worked out. I'm wearing all Adidas jumpsuit. I must be doing all right.
It looks like velour.
It is velour. Touch it.
looks comfy.
Very nice. Very nice. I need a black one.
You should get one of these.
I should.
They're the best.
Yeah.
Where do
You
you
walk-
even get one?
Adidas.com.
Oh,
They got a bunch of them.
They're expensive, right?
Yeah, they're expensive. But when you walk around in an all Adidas jumpsuit, it says something. I don't know what.
Yeah.
I think
it
it
says
says
something.
It says
Says
you're from the
something.
80s, definitely.
Yeah, I am from the 80s.
Or it says you're a mover. You do something.
Something's going on. This
A
guy.
velour Adidas jumpsuit.
This guy's got something going on.
Yeah.
He's wearing
He
all
didn't just
Sopranos.
fucking put that on by accident.
Right.
Yeah, and I got the Adidas shoes, the white shoes with the black, all
Yeah.
white.
shell tops.
Now, if it probably look at someone wearing that in a certain geography too, it tell like if you're in New York or New Jersey and you're walking around
Yeah.
like that,
You're probably a mob guy.
yeah, you're probably a mob guy.
What if you drop me in the middle of Siberia, or that's probably a mob guy?
Oh, they
If-
probably
what,
with
if,
them, they probably with them too.
Europe, yeah.
what if you
might
drop
just
me
fit in.
dead balls in the middle of Cairo, Egypt, wearing this thing?
Soccer player, coach.
Soccer player? Wow,
Football.
You got.
It'd be a lot tighter.
I'd be like, I play. What? I don't know the positions. I play wing. I think it's wing. Wing's
I think
a
it's wing.
position.
Midfielder? I don't know.
Midfielder,
Something.
yeah.
Did you play?
Striker?
Did you play soccer when you were a kid?
No soccer.
Everybody played at Drake.
I was great
I did
until
not.
my dad put me on a travel team with a bunch of Brazilian kids.
And that was it.
I was so good. And then I started playing
So
with
you
them, and I
heard-
was like,
till you learned about what Brazil was
yeah.
all about.
And then I couldn't even do anything with them. I gave up after that.
My cousin.
Much easier to give up, kids. Much easier.
Soccer.
You'd be doing yourself a favor if you give stuff up that's hard.
Lovely. Well, we talked about the funny. We talked about the gross shit, and we talked about some of the sad stuff because you did see a lot of kids like OD when you were working in the ER, right? Those kids that went down, but there's got to be like an upside to the job too, right? Like there's got to be a time when you feel like, oh man, this is really rewarding. I really love what I'm doing, and I just saved this person's fucking life. Something.
I mean, for me now, my
Operations.
my role now is when patients say thank you afterwards. That's it. It sounds stupid, but when you provide anesthesia to someone when they're in their most vulnerable state, you're keeping them alive so that the surgeon can do what they have to do. And then when you bring them to the recovery room and everything goes well, and they just say, well, thank you. That's like one of the most rewarding things, yeah.
So that's your job. You keep people alive while some other guy's slicing and dicing
Yeah.
when you boil it down.
I've heard of people who get anesthesia and everybody thinks they're asleep, but they're really awake and they experience the whole surgery.
That's
true?
Yeah, awareness is an extremely rare.
Oh, it's called something?
It's called awareness. Yeah, it's an extremely rare.
What are they doing?
It's a really rare occurrence for that to happen. I cannot remember these statistics, but it's
It
like
can't be, yeah.
0.001%. I mean,
but they can't feel it. They're still physically.
there are some people who they I can't remember.
They just can't receive.
They're just
the-
aware.
So that they know that you're cutting them open.
With my heart
like
surgery,
open heart surgery.
they always say with my anesthesia that
Fuck.
my heart surgery that it's kind of like you'll be awake, but you won't
Twilight.
be aware.
Yeah, 'cause
but I never remember. I go right out.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
So I mean, it's we say that because we're giving you just some IV anesthesia, and it's
not general, right?
It's a great, it's not a great general anesthesia is that they're asleep and don't wake up to you talking to them. You know, if you're doing some sedation stuff, you're supposed to be able to talk to somebody and wake them up like that.
So when I'm in sedation, and I don't remember, do you think there's some times where they're talking to me and I'm talking back, but I'm not aware of it?
Sure, yeah, it could
so
be.
So I'm not like asleep the whole time. I'm just
Like,
not aware of it.
My I've had surgery myself, and you know, one of the medications that I give every day called midazolam, it causes amnesia. So
cool.
you could be
Cool. Should score some of that.
Yeah, that's a fun drug.
You know, it doesn't last very long, but I've had it myself.
You should never know what you did.
I mean, I've had it myself for surgeries, and they're like, "Oh, you talked about this, that, the other thing." I'm like, I have no recollection of talking about any of that.
Jeez.
My brother would this is a thing that still goes on. He would, when we were growing up, he would wake up in the middle of the night like yelling, mostly "whoa, whoa," like something
like night terrors.
Like
or?
well, we'll get into that.
He saw a ghost girl once.
Yeah, he did. Like something startling him, basically. And I'll go in his room, and I'll be like, "Hey, stop it! What are you doing? Snap out of it!" And his eyes will be wide awake, and I'm telling you, he has no memory of it in the morning, like it never happened. Yeah. So his eyes are awake. He's conscious. He's looking at me like fully alert. Like Dan last week when I thought he went out and then he jumped up. He's like, "I'm awake," but then he was instantaneously asleep again. He went out. He used to do that all the time. So like this consciousness and like logging of memory is weird shit. And what I was saying with the night terrors is Dan gets sleep paralysis.
I have narcolepsy.
He'll be awake and he can't move his body.
I have narcolepsy.
Lots of people have that. I've never had it.
Narcolepsy is really common.
I've never had sleep paralysis either. I'm either
I
awake
get it
or
so
asleep.
bad.
Yeah,
I see
sounds
demons
terrifying.
sitting on my chest, and I think that's what explains a lot of alien abductions because it's so vivid. And I'm like, I have different levels to it, like Inception, like where I'm like, I get out of it, but I'm still in it, and I don't even realize it. I'm crawling on the floor, and then I get sucked back into my body. It's pretty cool. Doesn't scare me though. It's just I want to get out of it. It's like trying to move your arm.
Did people freak out on the table ever? Like, do you see freakouts?
Sometimes when they're waking up from anesthesia, they wake up a little wild.
Yeah.
Like when Wolverine woke up in X-Men.
Young
depends
guys
on the
tend to wake up pretty wild.
What do you think? It's just biochemical?
It could be, just jacked up sympathetic nervous system, and they wake up and if they go to sleep easy, usually they wake up easy. Sometimes people, you start putting them under anesthesia and they start moving, they start pulling, they
resist it?
They resist it, yeah. We always win, but they
Why, you just give them more?
Yeah, give them more.
Really?
Yeah.
It's not
a
like...
little longer nap.
Oh, man. You guys are in charge of some serious shit.
Yeah,
That's all there is to it.
Yeah. So we would talk. Chris was talking about how like all these kids come in ODing now and stuff when you worked in the ER.
Well, that was a while ago.
Now,
yeah.
well, I was just thinking about it
Currently.
because
happening. It's
probably worse now.
they've talked to me about heart transplants and things like that. And somebody told me that the hearts are more abundant now because some of these kids are dying really young, but they use drugs, but they still have pretty good hearts because they haven't been using drugs for 40 years.
Yeah. We've
Do
actually...
you see a lot of donors or?
Yeah. Certainly over the last few years. During my training, I think I did 7 or 8 organ procurements.
Really?
Whoa. What does that even mean? You're slicing some dead body open and taking out the organ?
I'm not doing that. The transplant surgeon's doing that.
What are you watching it?
I'm providing the...
He's like scalpel and you give him the
sleeve.
tool.
No, I provide well, they're already brain dead, so they don't need anesthesia per se, but they need an anesthesia person there to
Keep the body alive. And keep the organs
going.
Yeah,
You're giving a lot of different medications because at that point, the brain's not working, and you're pumping in a lot of medications and drugs to keep everything going.
This is some behind-the-scenes shit that we're getting into right now.
They've been declared dead, right? And their organs are still going?
They've been declared brain dead, yes. There's no vital brain function left.
Used to be that there were talks about premature, what do you just call it? Organ procurement?
Yeah.
We call it harvesting.
Harvesting, yeah.
Okay, so it's a big market for money, right?
And I don't...
It was
in other
at
countries.
It was at one point.
And I don't know about in here, but I know in the Philippines, you can go and buy a kidney over there for, I don't know how much, but you can go buy one on the black market.
But you've heard of organ harvesting. You've heard...
Yeah, no.
I mean, I've heard of it.
So
the only stuff I deal with is,
I had heard people say that this was going on inside hospitals, that people that were possibly savable were being written off as dead. They were taking the organs and selling them for $100K out the back door. You haven't seen any of that, huh?
No, it's a very regulated process.
I believe it.
I have something important to ask, Jim.
Yeah, how are we doing on time?
Have you ever seen that in the hospital?
Oh, the diphthalic? No.
Yes, you know what it's called.
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
He's a medical First of all,
those are real.
He's a medical professional.
All right, well.
Secondly,
diphthalic dude, he wrote a book.
What I'm looking at right now,
he has to pinch one off to pee.
Dude with what appears to be a regular scrotum, regular 2 ball sacks, but he has 2 huge, they're huge, ding dongs coming out.
He has a boyfriend and a girlfriend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How does the internal?
You know what?
How does the internal plumbing on that work?
Well, they both work perfectly. He prefers one of them, maybe.
But when he urinates, does it come out one urethra, both
it comes
urethras?
out both, so he has to pinch one off.
I mean, the biology behind it, you have to have some extra splitters.
Yeah, it's a splitter. It's a splitter.
I wonder how he's got 2 kidneys, 2 ureters that come down to the bladder. The bladder, wow, that's interesting.
I don't know.
He's in pornography, isn't he?
Yeah,
has he been?
He might have been. Yeah. He's an amazing guy. I mean,
tell people who are listening what to look up so they can see.
Look up diphthalic dude, the guy with 2 penises.
Diphthalic.
He posted on Reddit originally.
I don't know if you know this, but is one dick gay and one dick straight?
I think so.
What does that even mean?
He has a girlfriend and a boyfriend.
Yeah, he could be a bi, but I don't think his individual penises dictate which way he likes to go.
No.
You're telling me one dinky gets a rector and a girl, and then one gets a rector and a guy?
He's done everything with it you could imagine you'd want to do with 2 penises.
I don't know.
That was a silly question.
I would too. I mean,
of course you would.
That would be amazing.
I figured you'd appreciate that, Chris.
What
if
would
one
you
dick was
do?
gay and one was straight.
You could.
I mean, that guy's rewriting history on all this stuff.
Oh yeah, he's a complete renegade.
I mean, the most logical thing is 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink, but he's got 2
Well, he's
ding
done it
dongs,
all.
so he just puts
Yeah.
both the ding dongs in there.
He answered an AMA on Reddit where he answered every
My
question.
God, man.
Everybody had questions like that, like, you ever done this? You ever done that?
He's like, yes.
Yeah.
That's
of course I have.
diphthalic dude.
He didn't know when he was a kid that he was weird. His mother would tell him he's special, but he'd see other kids, he'd they only have 1 dick.
I have
Special.
I've been no, I'm just saying you're talking about dicks. I've been swimming down at the YMCA lately and showering with a lot of men that are older. These guys are 70-year-old men, and I'm in the shower with these guys, and their penises literally look like an acorn, like the tip of an acorn coming out of their bodies. And I'm getting out of the shower. I'm getting out of the pool with possibly a 1/3 size of my regular penis, right? And I'm dwarfing these guys in the shower. And I'm just wondering, because you're a medical professional, does the penis get smaller when you get 70 years old or 80 years old? And when you're doing these surgeries, you see a lot of penises. And what's the what are you working with over there?
You knew we'd ask you these questions.
Give me the real deal.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I know obviously your testosterone levels decrease as you age. So with decreased testosterone levels, you're not using your dinky as much. So
and it just goes to shrink.
Your medical expertise astounds me, by the way, because you just pull up diphthalic dude. You don't even need to know that.
I told you he's a real fuck. He's like a doctor.
I know.
He's been in school for 10 fucking years.
No, not a doctor.
You wear scrubs.
Yeah, the 3rd degree.
Yeah.
Doctor.
You could be a doctor,
PhD.
though.
If I had gone to medical school, I'd be a medical doctor.
Right. I mean, I'm saying you could have done well in medical school.
Yeah. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But
yeah. I thought about going to medical school once. It's much easier to think about going to medical school than actually doing it.
Yes.
A lot easier.
It's true.
But then also your abdominal wall, the muscles, fibers, they spread apart. They become weaker. So you got your abdomen and its content, encroaching on your dick and balls, and they're going around it. So it makes it look smaller that way.
Your dick root.
Yeah, your
and
dick
your balls hang lower, too.
Yes.
Yeah,
balls hang real low.
I'm going to see it Tuesday at 1:30.
Nice. Report back.
Roughly 2:15 is when I'll be seeing the naked. Well, I see him on the way in the pool and the way out of the pool.
Dude, that's so hot.
So one of your brother's friends' fathers has been there almost every time I've been.
When
so I've been showering, like literally showering with him, and like, you know, you're in there showering with all these other guys, and like, you know, everyone handles it differently. Some guys are like fucking all business, soaping it up straight at the wall. No one's talking to anyone. Most of them act like nothing's going on. Like we're not all showering naked. And they talk about just normal shit. Like they shoot the fucking breeze while we're all in there. I'm usually probably stoned or whatever.
When I was
singing some disco or something from the 70s, I'm like right up in some strange guy's face naked.
You talk to them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What, are you kidding me? They're like so friendly. It's like the friendly naked
I'll
men's
why,
locker room.
When I was in high school, we used to go in the sauna naked to like and do push-ups and shit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, to lose weight for wrestling.
Yeah.
And guys would see us. Possibly gay men, older men, would see us in the sauna, and they got so excited to come in. And
These guys don't strike me as...
They just have their dicks out and their belly over it, like, hey,
these guys...
any room in here?
They're just old dudes, I think. I don't think they're gay.
It is the YMCA.
They just like, fuck it.
Yeah, I think there's both. Man. I think there's both. Depends on who it is. I think
it's a weird thing in today's society that kids don't grow up with it like we did. They don't grow up with like the sharing of the
They don't grow
room.
up seeing their high school baseball coach in the locker room soaping up his balls afterwards.
we had a freshman.
Did you play baseball?
Football coach.
Played baseball in high school. And
did?
Just my freshman year.
What did you play? Shortstop? Outfield?
Third grade. Third base, left field.
Baseball's easy to quit.
I played my freshman.
Hot corner.
It is. After my freshman year, I just started working a lot.
It's too hard.
I know.
Lifting weights.
That's when we met.
Yeah, lifting weights.
It's when you and I. It's when our paths crossed.
Lifting weights.
The
You
first
don't
time,
deal with a
James.
team. You just pump iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, there was a coach. He would just like every day after practice, he'd be Sean Mackey. You know him. He'd be.
Who's it? Is it Hank? We're not naming names.
No.
But, okay.
Not naming names, but he would be in there. You know, he'd be like, "Hey guys, great practice," and you'd be like running by him, and he's like,
Here we go. We're all seeing each other's dicks.
Dan and I went to private school, and they had the Brothers of the Sacred Heart. They were Catholic priests.
Yeah, they like the boys.
And like we graduated high school. We graduated high school like 19. I graduated
2001.
I graduated 99, so I was 2 years ahead of them. But when I graduated, like maybe the year before that, the scandals started blowing up on the news about like the Catholic Church, and people started coming out, and they started making movies about.
The press would meet us in the parking lot trying to talk to us.
Yeah, and it was weird because like it all just started blowing up, and then there were like 8 Catholic priests that lived on the school premises, and
they're monks, basically,
and they had other schools
like nuns
set up around the world, and like out of the 8, like I want to say 7 of them got brought up on charges, or there might have been like 9 and 7.
One of them was like a dean.
Yeah, 2 of them were cool. They didn't.
Yeah,
they just,
some of them are still there.
But these other guys, like when every one of them, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Let me ask you a question. When I say things
all right,
like
hold on.
Satan,
I just want to make sure how he's doing on time. Do you got to get out of here because we're like.
I got 20 minutes or so.
All right.
So when I say things like that might insult somebody from the Catholic Church, do they ever stop and think that this is like, it's not just a church, it's the most prolific pedophile ring of all time. Like, most prolific.
They're the best.
They're the best at it.
The best in the business.
The best at covering it up. The best at everything.
They have a monopoly on it.
So how is what I say? Like, I've never heard of any Satanists doing it.
I don't know. Well, I mean, Satanists have done all kinds of horrible rituals and shit.
But they also
according to the media and stuff. I don't know.
They get a bad rap.
They get a bad rap. Temple of Satan actually donates to charity more than anybody.
I swear to God. I think the Catholic Church is slowly but surely losing its hold on the masses. You're a nice Irish boy. What do you have to?
I wouldn't know, but I would say maybe in the United States, but
yeah,
not globally.
In
South America,
Europe.
Christianity runs supreme.
It.
Is it Catholicism?
Philippines?
I believe so, but
yeah,
I think it changes the more options there are.
Russia's like Orthodox, like Philippines is very Catholic, like very Catholic in the Philippines.
Yeah,
there's a lot of Protestant and Catholic.
That's because of all the missionary work they went over.
Yeah, they brainwashed all of them,
setting up shops.
Yep. If they went over with Hindi, they would have been Hindi.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
It's fucked up.
It is. It is. You know, if I was born and never told about Jesus, I wouldn't have known anything about Jesus.
Yeah. Well, you were born here, and that's what they told you.
Yeah, well, it's all a bunch of make-believe and fucking Santa Claus.
Devil.
It's like Santa Claus.
Santa Claus is, for all intents and purposes, a real thing. He's as real as anything else in my book.
Oh, yeah, I know what you mean.
I mean, is there a real dude that flies a reindeer and delivers presents? No. But, like, every single human being in the world would know if you said, like, or showed him a picture, they'd be like, that's Santa Claus.
It's Papa Yo-Yo.
If you, like...
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
If our, like, species got wiped out, right? If our species got wiped out, right? And some other intelligent species combed through the ashes and found records, they'd be like, wow.
They worship Santa Claus.
This guy... apparently
was the leader.
Big deal.
Every December, the entire world would celebrate this dude, and his name was Santa Claus, and he would fly around the whole world in a fucking sled. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying. So, like, yeah,
Powered by reindeer.
You know, like, this is one of the things on the show too. Reality, right? Like the fabric of reality. What's reality? What's a dream? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, Santa Claus is ridiculous, but Jesus, he's
there's a famous
not ridiculous at all.
There's like a famous.
Dan, I'm with you on this one.
He is. James not a religious person.
Oh, good.
Much more of a science based type view of the universe. I'm more of a 50-50 astral spectral.
I'm not saying there's anything.
Hippie, psychic, fucking scientist.
Stoned ape theory. We should talk about that.
Stoned ape theory. We should. You know of stoned ape theory?
No.
So, if I'm getting it correctly, there's been questions as to why our species is leaps and bounds ahead of all the other species on the planet intellectually.
Why our brains evolved.
And some scientists think it's... Is it mushrooms?
The cordyceps mushroom.
They think that humans or you know, like a group of apes fed heavily on these mushrooms, and that it stimulated brain growth, and the rest is fucking history, baby.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but there's this famous... What I was saying was there's this famous, like, Chinese story. This king fell asleep and had a dream he was a butterfly, and it was, like, so real that when he woke up, he was, like, freaked out that he didn't know if he was really a butterfly and that he just woke up, or he just fell asleep and now he's dreaming that he's this human king, or is he a human king that fell asleep and dreamt he's a butterfly, because he felt like that his memory logged the dream experience as like real experience, right? And that apparently happens to like people, like that dreams, and as they get older, like your dreams will sometimes get flagged into your real memory. I don't know why, but you know what I'm saying is that, you know, like Santa Claus isn't a real thing, and maybe there was a real dude at one point, but at this, we've all agreed on this like concept and this picture and this idea of this. This is it. This is Santa Claus, and you know, so to me, like that's as real as anything else. Like, how many movies has the fucking guy got? Tons. Books, tons. I mean, you know. What is it?
Podcasts.
Podcasts? Does Santa have his own podcasts? He should.
Someone has.
If somebody doesn't get on the radio and pretend to be Santa doing a podcast.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. There's a subculture of men that are Santa Clauses at malls and stuff, and they take it so seriously. It is like all year round.
Jump your dad.
All year round, they're getting
just
ready to be Santa Claus.
Take a picture with that smile on his face.
They bleach their hair to get the yellow
out. To lunch,
like,
fucking.
They bleach their beard. These guys like train all year.
Like, my dad would be a terrible Santa. He'd scare the shit out of the kids with his sheer size.
All right, get off.
He'd ask them what they would, he'd be like, are you working? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
How old are you? How old are you? 10?
What are your plans?
Do you want to sweep the fence? What do you want?
I'll pay you $5.
Turn the mulch chips.
That's not the right way. Do it the other way. Yeah. Nope. I like the way you did it the first way better.
Do it the other way. Go back and do it again.
Oh, my poor dad. He's a
mother.
He's a saint. He's a saint too. That guy. in a different way.
I saw him driving today.
Different way than my mother. My mother's a saint. My dad's a saint in a different speaking of like, my mother tried to stab him. So you say like, well, how can the saint want to stab this other saint? Just stay out of it. Just trust me. It happens. We're good. You guys are
don't talk. Don't listen. That's what your dad taught us all.
Yeah, that's the secret.
Half man, mostly woman.
That's the secret to staying in a good relationship.
Don't talk.
No
Don't
communication.
listen.
Don't talk.
Don't listen.
Don't listen. Just zero. All right, so there you go, Pop. We're going to end the show on that. Don't talk and don't listen. Wait. Time out. Premature.
I want to invite James back for another episode.
What are you going to talk about?
We're going to talk about restaurant life.
Oh, we need to have.
Wait.
We need to have some.
All four of us work at the same
Yes.
restaurant.
Yes,
Yeah.
we
That
are
might
going to
be
have a restaurant.
Multiple
life talk.
episodes, but
That's
we
it.
want you back for
yes.
one. Yeah.
No. This is
I want Greg on.
no.
Dude,
No.
We're gonna find him.
In the
dumpster
gutter
somewhere?
somewhere. Yeah.
6 feet under in a cemetery. We have to excavate his remains.
Go to the Merrimack River and just
No,
walk.
seriously, for everyone who doesn't personally know us, okay, my family owns a restaurant. We all grew up working there, and if you've ever seen any kind of comedy or any kind of like show or anything that depicts life in a restaurant, it's pretty much fucking spot on from our experience growing up. And I mean, we had a pretty wild. We'll dip our toe in there before we end the show. We'll have a little taste test for everybody. James, why don't you tell everybody about the first social event that I brought you to when you started working at the restaurant?
I think I was 16, and I showed up to your house, and it was
Semi-voluntarily.
so yeah.
You were kind of coerced there.
Well, I went to
More-
the 80s,
very
80s
coerced.
party, and that's where I met Dan.
Oh, really?
Yes,
but the stripper party was
Stripper
before
party.
that, wasn't it?
that may have been Brian who went there, but
And he had Charlie Brown underwear on.
Are we talking about Tucker running around though?
Yes. What was he, like 15?
Nah, he was probably older.
16?
Unfortunately for him,
He was
17.
probably 17.
Yeah.
I thought you two were there together.
no, I was there with Rob one night,
Yes.
and we
You're
showed
right.
up to the 80s party, and I showed up to your hooker rodeo roundup after that.
Two. He was at Roker
The
running
80s party was a...
I don't
I
remember.
met, first time I walked in, and there was a guy coming down the stairs with blood coming all down his head.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that party.
Yeah,
That one.
It's the one Nanda died.
He basically died.
He did for 4
did?
days.
Oh my god.
We're going to have him on, and we're going to talk about death and life.
Yeah.
And you two are the only people I know that have died a bunch of times and come back.
I'm a 500-year-old vampire, so it's okay.
And also that. So he had
No, but I mean,
long history of-
Dan's technically died a
Died.
couple of times, right? And come back.
4
And not, all right, that's
double.
amazing. And Nanda died or was on life support for 4 days before he came out of it. And when we were talking about earlier with the anesthesia, he described it exactly like that. He said, dude, the last thing I remember was being at your house, and then I woke up in the hospital with he had tubes, breathing tubes down his nostrils, or I don't know what do they put him down the...
I remember him when he
what did
He had a catheter in. I mean, he was on life support for 4 days.
he had a breathing tube. It was-
I don't know how he survived.
They
Blood
medevaced
just
him.
pooled.
They medevaced him
immediately.
to Boston.
Immediately.
So they medevaced him to Boston in a helicopter. So it was serious right out of the gate, right? And then he was on life support for 4 days. So he was dead for 4 days, which, that's
I remember I was 16 years old, walking in, and he's fighting his way to stay at the party.
yeah.
Oh, you're still
And-
conscious?
No,
I went to the hospital.
He wasn't conscious.
You did?
Yeah, you were in the ride. You were in the ride along, huh?
Yeah, you were like carrying him. And me and Rob were like, we're 16 years old. Like, what the hell is going on here? We're like, we gotta get the fuck out
That's a
of
good
here.
education.
Dude,
But we stayed.
welcome to the party life, dude. This guy's fucking dead. There was I remember we were in college, and it was like I was probably like a junior in college or a senior. I think I was a junior in college. So my brother was a freshman.
2002.
But my brother was playing college football, so he was like big man on campus. You know, I was there. I had already established myself. I had the Harley. I had all these like friends that were like these huge animal guys. So we had that party, and we had the 80s party because why wouldn't we? And
we loved the 80s. Even then, it was
the
cool
deal.
to us.
The deal was we were inviting like 8 of our buddies and nobody else except hot girls, and we had something like 3 hot girls for every guy there that night. And then my buddy ended up drinking a liter of vodka in 30 minutes and killing himself and ruining the whole goddamn party. But he paid back for it, and he deserves it. So anyway, guys, that's all I got. Thanks for listening, everybody. Until next time, question everything.
Hell yeah, boys.
All right. We'll see you later.